provisions in there if you have, for instance, a global war on terror. We had another terrorist attack, so you could have deficit spending. Or you had a Katrina, some national catastrophe. Those two things. So you pass this. The Senate, Reid cannot table this. The Senate has to vote on that bill, no changes, in 15 days. I am begging Rush Limbaugh, I am begging Sean Hannity and everyone on talk radio. They don't have to talk to me. I'm going to vote for that. I'm going to talk it up everywhere I go. But we need to go to the folks who are wobbly, to the senators who are wobbly, and to the congressmen who are wobbly, and put public pressure like you guys are doing out there across this nation. I think it's the single most important vote I will ever make, and it's going to come up after October 1 till the end of this year. So in the next 120 days, that vote will happen. And remember, in 1996, we missed the balanced budget amendment vote by one vote in the U.S. Senate. It would have gone to the states. Think how different our nation would be today if 15 years ago we had a balanced budget amendment, which 49 states have, which my city that I was the mayor had, which this county has, which the state of Tennessee has. And we make do with what we bring in. And I had a philosophy as the mayor of Johnson City. It's pretty simple. You spend less and you take more. Not hard stuff. Here's the good news, I guess if there is any good news about the debt ceiling. No one knows what would have happened if you hadn't paid your bills. But if Ron Portman was the Office of Management and Budget, and you guys had a lot to do with this, and we think this is a historic piece of legislation. I'll tell you why. If in the next 10 years, Portman is a senator from Ohio, and by the way, he is on the select committee that's going to be looking at this budget. If you, every time, and it makes sense, if you raise the debt ceiling, you have spending cuts greater than that, your debt ceiling increase is going to get less and less. And in 10 years, if you do that every single time, you balance the budget. It was amazing. It was an unintended consequence that nobody realized at the time would happen. But when we thought about it a minute or two, that's absolutely happened. It's never happened in history. Here's the problem. Congress changes every year. We don't know whether future Congresses will have the discipline to do that. And so the discipline is a balanced budget amendment. That's why I think it's so critical to pass it. I'm a guy, listen, I don't like to fool the Constitution. If we do, no offense to my attorney friends, but if we wrote that today, it would be this thick, and I couldn't understand it. And I can read this and understand it pretty well. It makes good sense to me. So I don't like to get in there and fool with it, but this is one time. Why don't we give the people of this nation a chance to see if 38 states will vote to do that? My bet is they will. And that's why the Congress is afraid to do that. So anyway, enough preaching on that. What do I see going forward? Well, I see that we made one tiny step. We made a first down by the nose of the football. And we were on the goal line. So we've got a long way to go in this process. And I remember standing out on the balcony with 3 people of the U.S. Capitol with a saddened heart, March the 23rd, 2010, when we passed the Affordable Care Act. There were 3 of us that stood out there, and there were probably 5,000 or 6,000 people in the Tea Party that were still there at midnight. It was Michelle Bachmann, myself, and Todd Aiken from Missouri. And the thing I remember saying to those folks, now going on 2 years ago, is do not lose your enthusiasm, because this country needs it. It needs your input, it needs your energy, and we need the backup. We need to know that somebody has got our back. We're doing the right thing, because we're going to take some pounding. Let me tell you, the national media beats us to death. Now, I don't care what happens. We were going to get the blame for whatever happens. I knew that, so just go ahead and try to do the right thing, because we're going to get the blame. I believe we made the ship go this way a little bit, and the rudders turn, and I think we've got to keep the pedal to the metal and keep doing the same thing. But please, if you know people in other areas, please call them, contact them, get them on your email list, encourage them to do that. And I will, the lady, you're from Connecticut, right? My condolences. We'd like to have you down there. Anyway, I met someone desperate than you in California in January this year. I actually met Tea Party leader from San Francisco. You think you got it? So I invited her to come to Tennessee if she got so depressed. I said, come down here, we'll lift your spirits. She's out there fighting Nancy Pelosi and that's, bless her heart, she's doing it. And there are people out there that are conservative people. The rest of the year is going to look like this. It's going to look pretty ugly. Here's what could happen. I don't know who the nominee is going to be right now, and I'm not going to tell you who I'm for because I don't know right now. But next year, typically in an election year, nothing happens. But something big could happen. Let me explain to you what. If this Joint Select Committee can't come, let's say they can't come to an agreement. It's a 6-6 tie. Let's say they agree on $800 billion in spending cuts, and you've got to have $1.2 trillion. Here's what happens. Half of those spending cuts come out of the defense side, half come out of the elective side of our government, with the exclusion of Social Security and Medicaid and SCHIP. So the three things are excluded from that. So here's the good news. We worry about defense. Obviously, we worry about paying our soldiers and so forth. It actually is a $4 billion cut on the first caps. But in the defense side is the Defense Department, it is Homeland Security, TSA, guess what else? The State Department, which has foreign aid. Folks, I want to guarantee you, that's where the $4 billion is going to come out of. We're not going to continue to send money to countries that hate us. Crazy. You see the budget deficit, and when you have to dig really in the weeds, and I won't go through all this, we have sent money to China to make factories more green. America, we borrow the money from China over here and send it back to a Chinese factory that got our job. Go figure that one. And that's the stuff that I see every day. That why I take a Prilosec. Now you understand. I was out. I'm on the Education and Workforce Committee, which has anything to do with unions. I'm the chairman of the subcommittee on health, employment, labor, and pensions. So if you have a private pension plan, you have whatever, come see my subcommittee. We're having a hearing one day, and there's a little room off to the side of the hearing room, and I've got the greatest seat in the whole hearing room. I'm on the top dial, and right behind me is the door, so I could get out. So anyway, I walk in there where the staff is, and they said, well, Dr. Rowe, what are you doing here today? And I said, I've got my medical hat on. I'm working on stroke prevention. And they said, what do you mean? I said, I'm trying not to have a stroke, because if I stay in that room, I'm going to have one. If I stay there 5 more minutes, it gets that frustrating. You think you're frustrated. You should sit there up close and personal to be called racist, to be called whatever you are, because of the beliefs that you have. I heard someone say a minute ago here about the name calling. When people call you terrorists, when people call you names, you've won the debate. If that's the best shot they've got is a name calling, you're winning on the issues. And I think we are winning on the issues. And what's happened is that the national media, I believe, are trying to marginalize what you are by calling you wacky and crazy and every other name in the world. Well, I don't see a bunch of crazy people here. What I see in this room are people who care about America, just like I do. That's who I see in this room. And I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank how many of you are here tonight and taking your time to be interested in your government, because let me tell you what happened to us. You know who we got to blame? Us. We sat on our backside, and we got complacent, and we got exactly what we deserved. And now people are standing up and saying what they believe, and because it's different than somebody else, let me tell you, that place is different. It's different than any place I've ever been. But again, thank you for that. I'm going to stop, and I want to go over, before we quit, and then we'll open it up for questions. I want to go over the test. Okay, let's get your test done. Let's have some fun. All right, let's see how smart you are. Question 1, which of the following will the federal government spend the most on in the 2012 U.S. federal budget? You got it in front of us. What is it? Let me have an answer. Health care, 23%. Defense is 19%. Social Security is 20%. Number 2, GDP, gross domestic product, is an economic term that